think we can get started now. Welcome back, everybody. My name's Kyle Gentry. This is session 11 of the Camp Zombie show design live stream. My name is Kyle Gentry. I've been a character designer, character illustrator for over 20 years now, and I welcome you to my show. So this is session 3 of this kind of background design of stuff that we're doing. I'm just designing the cabins and a little bit of the campground that the characters belong in for what does a camp look like in the Everglades of Florida. So we're going to be hopefully finishing this up tonight or near finishing it up just so I can get it done for you guys or done to my own satisfaction. I might change a few things up on my own time. I'm roughing in just a real simple white layer like I did under here to make some of the colors pop better over some of this stuff. So that's all I'm doing in now is I'm continuing to rough some of this in. I'm not going to worry about doing it up there. Okay. So hope you guys have been having a good night. Good week so far. I just got back from a vacation myself. My wife and I will 2-3 times a year. I go to Disney every week to draw my tourists, but 2-3 times a year we'll go stay on Disney property. It's nice, relaxing vacations, a lot of fun. All right. And I'm having a really good day because I was one of the lucky few today to actually get my hands on a PlayStation 5. So it's been a good day so far. It's been eluding everyone lately. One little thing about since my program that I'm using isn't my normal everyday program. That's Clip Studio Paint. I'm using right now Corel Painter, which mimics real media. So if you watch the last live stream, you can see me working in that over this kind of canvas background. And I'm using some acrylic brushes, some simple watercolor brushes, things like that. So just layering color and getting things looking the way I want. Just like that. Okay. So we'll just keep going. Just going to keep working around the canvas until I get things the way I want. And then I'll rough in some foliage. And we'll be done with this particular piece. Because like I said, this is just done for presentation purpose. If I was going in to pitch a show, this would be a piece that I would add to the pitch Bible to show a idea of a location inside. So that's what we're going to do there. Let's pick this color and play around with this color just a little bit. That's a little too maudlin. That was a good place to start. Nah, I think I'll go with a green. There we go. I like that. Nope. Nope. Okay. There we go. Figure out how to get that thing to go away. All right. I'm putting all of the colors for the buildings on one layer. It's just easy to manage. Since I'm painting loose and fast, keeps me from getting too complicated. And this kind of digital watercolor brush right here kind of paints loosey-goosey over itself. So I have to add layers upon layers. Let's get rid of a little bit of... But it erases like pencil. That's awesome. I love it. More of a yellowish, orangish. There we go. Okay. And I'm using, in my head, I'm using reference of buildings from like Key West and things like that, because this is set in South Florida in the Everglades, so I wanted to have that kind of thing going for it. And the buildings are all very bright down there. Yeah, okay. So I'm just picking kind of fun colors to work with, just very colorful colors and, you know, that kind of thing. I'm going to pick this color for the roof. I really like that. Kind of, I'm using colors from other areas to help. It keeps your eye moving around, but it also puts them in the same location. Like you're giving yourself ways to connect areas of this setting that you're giving yourself, so it all works together. Shrink that brush down a little bit. And for those that may be starting in on this, I spent weeks doing character design. So this little dude up here in the left-hand corner is Venny. He is the main character. The camp zombie is the cook of the camp, and this kid discovers him. And the zombie, he doesn't eat brains; he eats ice cream and desserts and things like that. So he has to constantly have a constant source of dessert and sugar and things like that, you know. Okay, so we're gonna do what we did over there, and we're gonna add some strong highlights for the ridges on this kind of metal. I don't like that's too strong. Let me try that. Yeah, there we go. That's better. I can use pressure. It's a little bit rough. Kind of goes with the goes along with the canvas. I just want a hint of this kind of raised ridge line here. From a distance, it won't matter as much. And this is a nice, like, rusty look almost. Nice. Okay. Let's pick a shade color. I'll pick the same thing I did over there. Put in a... Well, what the heck happened? Where did my color go? Okay. There it goes. Really? There we go. Okay. What happened there? There's some things I'm getting used to. They've updated so much on this program. Since I've been able to use it, I had to get the 2021 version, which is awesome, but the last one I used was the 2018 version, and I haven't been able to use it in a while because I just upgraded computers. And my older computer wasn't able to handle it as easy. Okay, what is going on with that? Where's my color picture acting wonky? Alright, just have to eyeball it. That's fine. There's some things that I'm still trying to figure out how and why they're working the way they're working. This little outhouse behind cabin 13 is fun. Originally I drew it way too small. Or, I'm sorry, way too big. It was like rivaling the cabin size, so... Alright. Good deal, good deal. Go back up here. Select one of my other colors. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Okay. talk to myself when I'm doing color just to make sure I'm behaving myself, I suppose. So if you've got any questions or anything, as I always said, feel free to ask away. Anything about character design or concept art, painting technique, the programs I'm using, what my favorite breakfast food is, whatever you like. As far as favorite breakfast food goes, I've got many. And the main focus is this main building, so we're going to keep that the most detailed thing on here. That's why I did that one first. I like that kind of bluish color coming down here, you know, like it's colored wood or metal pipes or something they found to do this with. And really getting that kind of watercolory feel. It's kind of smearing around like watercolor, which is the tool that I'm using. It's how it works. It's a drippy kind of simple watercolor brush. For this kind of like rough fill-in kind of fun work, I like it a lot. Kind of bleeds over a little bit. Good deal, good deal. Just kind of comes down here, and then we'll really get dark back over here for underneath and pushing it back. It's fine. Back here behind the drain. Excellent. Okay. Move around up here and do a right there. And to rough this in, you kind of need to have a pretty decent understanding of as I'm roughing in, like where the rough shadows are and things like that, you know, how color and light work, you know, have some kind of rudimentary drawing classes would be a good idea. You know, obviously the part that's closest to the sun, and I'm taking some liberties because obviously the sun's behind it and it would be mostly in silhouette, but it's a cartoon and you can bend and break some of those rules a little bit if you need to. Excellent. I'll come in and maybe change the color of that little cap on top of that vent right there. Nice. Okay. Yeah, let's I'll add color on top of it and we'll kind of have it maybe like that, like there's some painted chips and things like that in it. Like you can play around, see what you like. that's better. And then I'm going to take in just add a little bit of rivets here. Just give you an idea that there's rivets there. Just trying to find the right balance of stuff there. Make the sides solid. Even though there's lines going through that, I can take a little bit of artistic license and play around with it. There we go. It just has a frame of a radar dish of some kind, you know. Put something in back here that's just indicated that there's more going on back there. So I have said many times, you're trying to sell them a cool story with an image in the simplest way possible. You know, that's the best way to describe what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, just add a little bit of glass work in there. All right. Let's add a little bit of some kind of writing. Right there. Some kind of little oh, that's fun. I was painting on a completely different layer. Oh, what's going on with that color picker, man? Okay. It happens sometimes. Painting on a layer and, you know, you lose track of like what layer you're on. It's okay. In this case, I can get away with it. There's not much that I didn't do anything wrong with that, but it does happen. As I promised last week, gotta paint that face in there. Somebody painted a sad, kind of drippy face with some paint. Excellent. All right. That's why I was getting all the white everywhere. Okay. Going over some stuff right now, just playing with detail. Just playing with detail, that's all I'm doing. Getting a little scribbly, and scribbly's okay right now with what I'm doing. Adds the effect. For those that are new, I generally run about an hour and 45 minutes to an hour, or I should say an hour and 45, about an hour and 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. Because I want to respect your time. Okay. There we go. Let's get a better angle on what I'm trying to draw with. Too dark. There we go. That's better. Like I said, it can be rough. I'm not worried about, at least in this instance, I'm not worried about going outside the lines too badly. That's not really my concern. It's part of this loosey-goosey kind of watercolory style. That's all right. I'll just throw that in some back here too, because that's going to be the same kind of thing. Real loose, real quick. There we go. Okay. Too small. What was the tool that I used? Because I was experimenting with some tools last week. Scratchboard? Yeah, I think it was Scratchboard. Yes. Scratchboard. Still got some scratchboards, actual scratchboard laying around somewhere with the tools. I should pull it out and use it sometime. Have fun with it. Doing scratchboard is crazy because you got to think in reverse. White on black, not black on white. And how you think about value is changes everything in shade, light. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, I like that. Let's keep that going. Gives you a better indication up there. A little bit of rust or a little bit of wear and tear or whatnot. Always remember to save, folks. Always remember to save. Ah, okay. Too thick, too thick. Bearing down too hard. Okay. Do one little thing real quick. There's that half moon there for the outhouse, and I don't want to lose it. What is going on? Ah, wrong tool. Okay. There we go. Just want to pop that outline out just a tiniest little bit right there. Make it stand out just a tiny bit. Excellent. Okay. All right. Too cold of a color. Back to my new simple watercolor. Really give this okay. Let's make that one in the background kind of stand out, maybe make it purple. Joker's cabin, give it a green roof. Blue door. Not going super duper detailed on this back here. I don't want it to stand out too much. I don't know what its function is. It's just a building that's... There's all kinds of filler buildings and filler background in cartoons and things like that. It's that kind of thing. It's just filler. And yes. Okay. Need to fix a little something here. There's something not right about that. I know what I need to do. Let's add another layer. Make it yeah, I know. Wrong one. There we go. Just I want it to be a kind of a screen over the gaps. I didn't want it to be just necessarily open. And then I'll play with the opacity once it's done. This big radar dish, maybe that's how they get TV. I don't know what its function is, but it's fun. That's all I know. There we go. Just a little bit more, maybe. Nice. Okay. Okay. In the main building, I've still got... Need to add a little highlight to the steps. And I need to play around with the bug zapper. So... Scratchboard tool. Just keep painting too far away. I apologize about that. I need to bring it in closer so you guys can see better. My bad. There we go. Okay. Want this to be dark because there's got a little core of light in it because it's a bug zapper. And it's, like I said, it's not a huge deal, but I want it to be noticeable. Doing it on that opaque layer again. Dadgummit. Alright, it's alright. Kind of hinting at details. I'm not showing details, I'm hinting at details. I'm indicating details. Okay. All right. Yep. A sign in a building, and then we got the background, and we'll see how long that takes us tonight. What time is it? All right, doing good. All right, we'll make this communications building blue, since that's kind of where we're going with some of this stuff. Go back to my drippy, my new. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay. A little too blue. Let me bring it around to green just a little bit. There we go. Yes. Just get excited about some of this stuff, man. went a little too far with some of the white, so I'm going to take some of that back. Where's my opacity for my brush? There it is. Okay. Take that to half. Just want to loosen it up just a little bit. See some of that texture from the bottom coming through. I went a little too harsh with it. There we go. Just a little. Yeah, now you can see some of the canvas coming through. There it is. All right, back up to the color. A little bit darker, a little bit cooler. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry. Felt that coming and I was like, I can't do much about it. Dang it. Take that to a brown inside. There we go. Want it to have a warm interior. Gonna give it kind of a rusty roof though. There we go. Maybe give it a frame that's like maybe in between rusted metal pieces or something on the sides. That'd be cool. Yeah, I don't want it to be as interesting as that front building, so it's okay if I'm using the same color around a lot. Oh, that's right. I gave it saloon doors. Play with that a little bit. Green saloon doors. There we go. Be a green frame too. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Back to this kind of grayish blue. It's one of those things, everything facing away from the light, if it's the same color, has the same base shade, so we're gonna hold true to that. Highest contrast is always where the shade meets the light, if it's very bright. I'm going to do that too. All right. Back up. These are just those cartoon-esque, you know, loudspeaker kind of speakers that you see at like army bases and such. I toyed with the idea of that this was an old army base or something, and there was some leftover experiment that turned the ice cream bad, that turned the camp cook into the zombie and whatever. That can all be played with, and it's all possible. You know, I've got multiple ideas on how I can handle some things, but right now the camp, the head of the camp is the bad guy. He's the one that kind of experimented and created the zombie, even though he doesn't know that's what he did, but he suspects that's what he did. So he's trying to figure it out, and the kids are trying to hide it all from him and keep it a secret. And like I said, quick. Excellent. Some white overlap from some of that white that I laid down that I'm going to completely get rid of. that way, then let me do it this way. There we go. Excellent. Do a tiny bit of highlight on some of this stuff with the scratch board tool. I wasn't precise with you know, perspective at all on a lot of this stuff. It's because you lose a lot of humor when you make it too precise. You want it to give it a more humorous look. So that's what I was really going for with some of it. For those that are interested too, I dropped my first episode on Monday of this, but I'm starting a Macabre Mondays, which is my Macabre McMorbidly's a creepy family that I design and sell at shows. I'm going to take Mondays and do a draw through with one of the current ones that I'm working on, and that's a pre-done video. It's all pre-recorded. You know, it's fun, just a lot of fun to do. See what it all looks like. Excellent. Okay. Looking good. Little tiny details here and there that I got to work on, but okay. Let's fix that. Scratchboard tool. What is the deal with that? Okay. Nice little highlight, pop that sucker out. Only the edges though on that one. Yeah, there we go. Good deal. Okay. They do look a little bit like chicken coops. One of the commenters a couple of episodes ago commented they look like chicken coops. And considering that the characters were kind of have an egg shape, it makes sense. It really does. I like that a lot. Okay. Let's go over and fix this sign up, and then we'll work on the grass and the water. The kind of swampy water. And it's not going to, swamp water isn't going to be very reflective, so it's going to be general color and ripples and things like that. So not too bad. Difficulty wise, back up to my watercolor. There we go. That's what I wanted. Bring it down. Put it back. Those metal staves you see in the ground that hold up the signs. They've got holes in them and whatnot. I'm going to add a little bit of rust. Oh, nope. Rust has to be a lot dirtier than that. There we go. I'm looking back at a sign that I have. It's behind me. Really? You can do me like that? Okay. There it is. All right. I had to fiddle with it. Nope, still not. Huh. Yeah, I've got to play around with that. Okay, maybe not. There's some things in this program I'm still learning that work completely different than they used to, so I'm still playing with a lot of it. And this sign, maybe I'm not overly happy with some of the elements of it. Maybe fixing some of it. There we go. I just wasn't pushing down hard enough. It's a highway sign. Like, I'm just thinking kids have stolen, you know, highway signs from all over the place, and they've used it to decorate stuff with. And, you know, they found Highway 13 and they're using it to nickname their cabin Highway 13. Heh. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of. I like the way that transparency works in here because it's still, you still see the color, but it just looks kind of grungy. Yes, that's what I wanted. Okay. Let's go down here to this layer, see if my erase tool is still. Okay. No, it's not the erase tool, but it works. There we go. There it is. Okay. Okay. So the buildings are pretty much done, and the way that I want them to be presented, and we're going to work on the water and the little islands that they're sitting on and keep those as simple as possible. It's just going to be utterly simple. It's not, you know, got to find the right shade of blue that doesn't, it's not too warm. I don't want it to be confused with the rooftops. So, and in the background here, there's a, it's not, I don't want a horizon line. It's a haze. Because in South Florida, when it's super humid out, there is a very hazy kind of horizon line. So we're going to turn that a little bit so I can get a better angle on my. That's better. Okay. And there's my dog. Apologies. All right. Get that brush nice and big. We're going to go underneath. Yeah, I can do it on that same layer. That'll work. And the cool thing about this brush is it kind of creates the ripples on its own. It works like a watercolor brush, but I mean, it is a watercolor brush, but if you can kind of give the effect of ripples, you know. Get far away from it. There we go. Okay. And I'm not worried about where the islands are gonna go or anything like that, because it's gonna be, and I am gonna blend this just a hair. When I'm gonna dry the canvas. I have to dry the canvas like you would a canvas to work with watercolor. Probably gonna lighten this up too. It's a bit too dark. But I like the color okay. That works for me. Oh, I won't have to blend. That's right. I can. It's a pressure thing. I just have to play with the pressure. Like I said, I'm not worried about going through some of the lines. Horizon line's just beyond this area right here, so we're going to take it up there. And it's lighter as it goes back, of course, because that's distance. Went a little too wild right there. I don't want that to get too wild on me. So right about here. Okay. All right, so we'll dry that. Remember where the dry there it is. Now I can go to a blender brush and do some interesting things. Blenders, there we go. Okay. Let's try that one. Have some fun with this. Just play with it a little, see if it works. This is where experimentation is. Oh yeah, that's nice. Just gives it a nice evenness. I don't like, because I don't want to see it like detailed ripples. I want indications of ripples. Yeah. Not a whole lot of reflection going on in the water. Like I said, it's swamp water. It's not supposed to have a ton of reflection, so. Brush a little bit bigger. There we go. I want to overdo it because I don't want to lose some of the definitions that I've gotten, but I definitely have some harsh lines in there that I don't want to be seen. All right, now I'm going to take that layer just down a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, I did one thing stupid. Okay, fix that. Stupid, okay. Okay, and this is where not paying attention gets you into trouble. All right. That's where I want it, right there. Okay. Yes. Okay, just indication of water, real quick. Nothing too fancy, you know, nothing like that. Now we're going to do the land. Let's do a new layer. And I might port this back over to Clip Studio in a bit. There's a... I want to play a little bit with some of the newsprint brushes over there for this. Gel wash. I don't want a gel wash. Opaque. There we go. Okay. There it is. No, I don't want that either. Let me look at the watercolor brushes. There it is. Okay. Diffuser. Nope. Yeah, I'm going to port this over to Clip Studio. Save it. Close it. There we go. Okay, so Session 10. Boom. All right. So you can see it's a little brighter over here because the program handles color differently. And that's okay. You know, all the effects are there, but it won't paint the same as the other will. So I'm going to take back a little bit of this because I know... newsprint 3. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Just give myself a few indications. I'm just going for shapes and colors and things like that. So what I've done is I selected what's known as like a transparency color. It's right over here. On my color pickers right here, they're both black right now, but right under here is a little rectangular bar that looks like transparency boxes. And if you select that, it basically turns any brush you're working with into an eraser. So for those that haven't seen me do that before, that's what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. Let's have some fun now. And I'm not going to show some of the canvas in this anymore because I want this kind of background to stand out with the brushes I'm using. It will show through. I mean, obviously it's showing through, but that's... There we go. Take that size down a little bit. I almost want it to be some kind of hilarious, like, shirt that you're looking at, like a Hawaiian shirt print or something. You know, some of those are pretty bad. A little bit of translucency, you know. Throw some color right here just to... I'll play with the shadows and stuff in a bit for this area. And there's some cattails there, but you can see like it's layering on itself nicely. It's getting darker, and there will be some point where it just loses you'll get as far as you can go. It'll just darken up to the full opacity of its color, and you'll lose. And I didn't create this brush. I got this brush off of a very generous artist who has his own live stream at Library Studios. He gave out these newsprint brushes for free in the first week of his first live stream, and he's awesome. I have a lot of respect for his work. His character work is phenomenal. So if you have a chance, go look up Lost Bear Studios and check out his live stream. It's every Monday night at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I might take this purple building back here and make it a little more translucent, a little less of itself. It's too much. All right, so quick way I'm going to do that kind of hazy horizon grass, what have you, is with an airbrush. So soft, simple tool. I'll take the opacity way down. Just like that. Just like that. Just a... I'll add another on top of it. This time we'll do it at a slightly higher percentage. Yep. All right. And then I'll erase some behind the building. I don't want to lose these beautiful colors because they're somewhat transparent. I don't want to lose that. I worked so hard on them. Why would I screw them up, you know? Yeah, that's a nice general, a really nice generalized like horizon background kind of a thing. All right, you'll notice too, I'm also, where I put the grass is also in the same layer as the water, so it's staying at that opacity, that low opacity. So, and we're gonna keep doing on that. Keep doing that. But I'm just kind of throwing in grass, like kind of the big rush grass that you see down there in the Everglades. I mean, I live in Orlando, so I've seen it plenty of times. I used to live down in South Florida for a couple of years, and not my favorite place because of the heat. So do a nice big general overall tone. There we go. And then I'll start doing this kind of stuff. I want you to feel like it's, you know, tall grass that you don't want to step in. And I'm going to take the logo and put it down here too, probably. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'll see where it's at. But all right, so layer above it, and then I'll start playing around with color, and I'm keeping the color here a bit more monotone because I don't want the buildings, like I said, to lose their uniqueness in the middle of all this brown, you know. Get some green in there. There we go. And I'll indicate some blades coming up through that mist, just to kind of give you that this grass just doesn't end. It's like never ending, and you don't know what's living in it. There's gators out there, snakes. It's briny, so there's sharks. It's one of the few places on Earth that sharks and alligators coexist in the same ecosystem. A lot of snakes that shouldn't be there. I'll take the opacity of this brush way down too. So let's put that up a bit more. There we go. Okay. A little too much, a little too much, a little too much. There we go. Just enough to make it stick out. Because you look at it like layers, so there's this layer of grass back here that's all one direction, this layer of grass, and then you're just adding layers on top of that. That's how you create and populate areas of texture like that. Fur works the same way. There's layers upon layers that you populate an area with, and you just got to think that you're doing the darkest, deepest first, and then you get lighter and lighter, and there's these pops of highlight that come out. That's how I do hair as well on people. Probably put some kind of title down, like, you know, Cabin 13 concept, something like that. Just something to label, you know, if this was going in a pitch Bible, something to label what it was. I gave myself this kind of big, kind of general space down here to put something like that in, so. Yeah, just little pops of dark. It starts to get muddy if you don't throw this kind of thing in there. And light, you know. Just indicate more cat lilies and cattails, pardon me. Indicate a shadow in the grass underneath the buildings. It's important. Even though the sun is, like the taller ones wouldn't cast that much of a shadow, so I'm not too worried. That I don't like what that's doing though, so let's fix that. This little thing right here, this little white, I don't like that. All right. So yeah, we're gonna take that grass and give it a shadow underneath. Too much. I went way too hard with that right there. I'll do a highlight in a second too, so it'll... Okay. I don't know if I'll lighten that building up or not. Maybe on my own time I want to get this done for you. Yeah, there we go. Let's do a highlight now. And this isn't for production. Again, this is to show a real quick concept of what these buildings could look like. You know, it's not meant to be used for an actual background. It's to show you the rough style of what the background could look like. You know, to give. Oh, hey there, Sleep. It's to give you an indication of what this style could look like behind these characters. A little bit of indication for the maybe a bunch of cattails in the background so you can kind of see. It's subtle hint. Very, very subtle hints. Excellent. Really digging this. Okay. All right. Got a lot done in an hour. That was actually pretty good. So it's a loosey-goosey background. It's you know, just throwing on color, throwing on shapes, throwing on indications, throwing on subtleties. It looks like this fun kind of junky place for kids to hang out, which is what you want, you know, which is what I was looking for. So there we go. Looking for that white. I need to put a few more sparks into that little. Okay. This is the first time. This is one of the few times you'll actually see me use a brush like this, but. There we go. And it works, you know, it's a time saver and it works. It's a bug lamp, you know, so let me actually do it on this layer too, so you can. It's killing a lot of bugs. You know, bug zapper lamp, so it should be a lot of fun. All right. Let me put in a little bit of highlight on the water. Just vague. I mean like super vague highlights on the water. I'm got to pick the right brush for this because I don't. Oh, maybe that'll work. Will that work? Yes, that'll work. Okay. And I'm following kind of where the highlight is already there. I'm going to get rid of some of these lines. I had them on there just to show ripples. I'm following the tones that I laid down with the color so it doesn't look weird. Yeah, okay, those are going to drive me crazy. I'll get rid of those real quick. It's too much. There we go. Okay, because I'm going to use this to do that. All right. And I'll throw in some darker tones as well. Shrink that brush way down. Get rid of a few of those lines. There we go. And you aren't going to see these lines back up at the horizon line where it disappears into the grass. No, I did not make that sparkle brush myself. Believe it or not, that is a standard brush that actually came with Clip Studio. I've made them before. I've made my brushes in there before, but that one just worked well for the job. I used the best tool for the job, you know, so good question though. If I'd made them, I would totally make it available. I'd find a way, like maybe open up a Gumroad account or something to make it available for you to download. But I didn't make them. That's just a standard brush with Clip Studio. And it is a really cheesy brush, and it very rarely comes into play with what I'm doing. But, you know, you use what you use, and if it gets the job done well, then hey, use it, you know. It's all about your vision. It's not about holding to some tried and true, like, oh, I only work traditionally and use brushes that look traditional. I'm not about that. So, then we'll use a blender brush, give it a nice blur on some of these that are a little harsh. Very light, very, very light. It's all about getting that softness. I feel a little bit like Bob Ross right now. Happy little waves, happy little curves, happy. Jeez. Oh god. All right. And what I will do is take some of the color up here and put it in the waves, because you always want to, in water, like, the way color theory works, you're always going to have a little bit of the color that you're reflecting inside the object that you're reflecting on. It's just going to happen. Now it's going to blend with that color, it's going to mix with that color, and that's a really simplistic way of putting it. I could be describing it better. But okay, I'm going to go one layer above that and bring it down a little bit. There we go. So obviously I'm going to have to use the darker colors because those are going to show up better. All right. Get rid of that. Because there we go. Just a, there we go. Okay, just an indication. It's the way water refracts light and such. It's just craziness. It's cool. It's really cool, but how it works, I couldn't begin to describe the stuff they had to try and teach us in art college to figure out the theory of that and why it works the way it works. And it's fascinating. It really is, but and it's a little bit reflective. I'm not trying to give an exact reflection. It's just a tiny, tiny bit reflective. You know, I'm not. It's scuzzy, gross water, and that's all that I'm worried about showing. And most of these stilts are. Now, one thing I'm going to cheat it a little bit. I'm going to take this color and put some of that there just to give your eye a place to, you know, in this spot, just a little indication that it's reflecting that color. Like distance-wise, it would be equidistant from top to bottom down here, but I'm cheating it. So that's all right. Likewise back here with this kind of purplish kind of tone. Just a little, just a tiniest little bit. Yeah, okay, now I'll take a blender. Let me take the opacity down on that because that's going to be the intensity I need to. Oop, there it is, brush density. Too strong still. I need it super light, as if I said it very softly. like I said, teeniest, tiniest. Yeah. Yeah. Happy accidents. There are no bad accidents. There are only happy accidents. That's absolutely right. They might lead to having to creatively figure a way out of things, but that's okay. That's why they're there. All right. Now I am going to put, even though it's not super highly reflective, like I said, pieces of it will be. So I'm going to take the lightest part of the green and do the same thing, but in kind of like the opposite lines. Like I'll show you. Let me. So in between some of these to kind of break up, logically break up. Oops, let me put the better angle on that. I was getting the curve was wrong. You'll actually see the red better now because you're contrasting it. Oop, wow, that was way too powerful. And I'm very lightly with my pen right now, like so with my stylus, because it's a Wacom Cintiq, I can go super light. You know, I've got my sensitivity set just right, and that's a tough thing to figure out because they give you a lot of leeway with it, but they could give you more, and you've got to figure out how your hand has to move across the surface. And I'm sure it's like that with other types of tablets. I don't know what everybody works with here. Wacom is certainly the most popular. For those that are wondering, I'm using a Mac. I don't like Surface PCs. I hate them. They don't feel the same. They don't have a good pressure sensitivity. They can market it all they want. It's garbage to me. I just don't like it. PC's fine, but the Surface, like selling you like a tablet and a computer, and no. It's crap. It's crap. I don't like it. So let me take some of this and throw some of that island in there too. I forgot that has to be reflected somewhat. So I'll go back with that other color and work some of that too. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. Yep, super swampy. That's what we're going for. All right, back to the blender. Do it again. Very light. Like I said, it's not super like mirror reflective. That's not what I'm going for. But it definitely looks like the Everglades. I ain't lying. It really does. Okay. Now what did I say I was going to do? Oh yeah, this. So this little dude needs to come down a little bit. He's sticking out a little too much. Just separate it. I copied it and separated it out a little. Okay, we're going to take it down there. And then to my other... that actually works pretty well. Let me take it down just a little. I want it hinted at. I don't want it to be so stark. That wasn't the plan. There we go. Excellent. Okay. The only thing that I'm not happy with, and I said I wasn't going to be happy with it, you heard me say I wasn't going to be happy with it, and I'm not happy with it, is this little sign right here. It is too bright. Yes, it is a highway sign. And yes, it's supposed to, like on the highway, it's supposed to be bright. I'm just not happy with it. It's better, but that red is still too intense. So I'm just going to erase that. Do it again. How about that? Because the color picker and painter was kind of acting wonky, and I don't know why. It's something I'm going to have to reuse. It's probably something I was doing wrong. I ain't going to lie. 99% of it was probably me. So, yeah, that's better. Okay. Let me take this back up again. There we go. It wasn't the blue that was bothering me as much as it was the red. Okay, maybe the blue a little bit. Alright, let's take that down just a tad. Ah. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Just... I'll blend into it a little. I don't want to lose my rust, my beautiful, beautiful rust marks there. That took me... That was hard to do. I like it. It was a nice... That really was a happy accident right there. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Yep, good old cabin 13 made with a Highway 13 sign. All right. Okay. What else could we do to this? Oh, the cattails. I need to kind of go in on the cattails a little bit more. They were going a little nuts. Oop. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Okay. Oopsie, oopsie. Let's bring that. Actually, let's make that a multiply layer. There we go. That should have been done that way at the beginning. Bring that down just a hair. No, I'm going to leave it to where it's at. Okay. There we go. Cattails have kind of a greenish brownish hue, which I feel like a lot of stuff in this is right now greenish brown, but that's okay. No, I don't want the texture. What am I doing? Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. And I'll worry about shadow and highlight in just a minute. Just getting in the color that I want, this kind of funny color. All right. That's what I thought. Okay, right there. That's where that highlight doesn't need to go. All right. Let's get a real pencil out because that's got a rough edge to it. I like that. Yeah, right there. Let's make it even lighter. Yellow. Right there. That's the rough edge I need. Let's actually go up to this layer and do it. There we go. These cattails have a rough texture to them. Bottom dark area down here, down in the same color family, and throw that in there. Okay. Nope, don't like the way the stalks look. I'll fix that right now. I went too rough with that. The tops are fine. I'll get some of my old rough pencil, which, like I said, that is my pencil. I pulled that from an old version of Painter because the new one, when I got the new version, I didn't like their rough pencil that they had in there. I wasn't happy with it. Now that looks like a fun place to hang out, honestly. It really does. It's junky, and maybe it's what they're kind of having to force to do, but it looks like a blast, and that's all I wanted. Was someplace that kids look like, you know, it's a little dangerous, More dangerous than probably should be for them, but it doesn't matter. It's at a camp, and how many of us did stuff at camp that we weren't supposed to do? It was much dangerous that our parents would be pissed if they ever found out about. Now, one time when I was at the camp I used to go to, a kid was, there was all these brown snakes that were up on top of the roof, and they were falling down, and kids were running up and grabbing them, playing with them. And of course, somebody got bit. Didn't break the skin or anything. Just snake wanted to be left alone, and let him know. Don't think his parents ever found out about that. Probably a good thing. That's a little autosave function. There we go. I'm just adding in a little tiny bit of metal highlight. And like I said, this is not tight by any shade of anything. It's not supposed to be. I'm not going for tight. I want it to be loose and borderline messy, and because if you go to my website, which is at the top of the screen there, you can see how tight I get with a lot of stuff, and this for me was a revolution. I wanted to do something completely different than I normally do, and this for me was that. It's my experiment. It's my fun. There we go. Looking for that. That shadow on the corrugated metal. I've forgotten to put that in. A little bit of highlight there. It's rusty, but it's still got highlight. So yeah, should have another Macabre Monday going on Monday. For those that watched it, I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely, I might switch up which characters I'm working on from week to week. I haven't decided yet. I might just continue with Disharmonia, the opera singer. You'll find out on Monday. And I'm also going to be, at some point in the future, doing what I'm doing for my Monty, the Unfortunate Octopus series. So I'm going to be putting up progress shots of that. But that one, those take more time, so you'll just see pieces of it here and there. Yeah, there you go. Let me put a little more highlight on that drain pipe. I'm not thinking that needs a little bit more. Right here. Yeah. Let's get a little more than that. Get my old rough pencil. There we go. Always select the right layer, boys and girls. Always. Thing I will do up on this drawing layer is erase you can see the actual face better without the lines. So I'm going to get rid of those. So there you go, Sleepy. I left the painted drippy face in for you. Because you seem to like that. And I really like the way it came out. You had a great idea. That was awesome. That was awesome. All right, let's create one more layer and do a little bit more shadow right there. I'm going to knock this down. We're going to do newsprint 3 dark again. Make it a little more. Multiply layer. Okay. Just do a little eraser. There we go. Just a little hint of the highlight coming up on the edges of the boards there. There we go. Okay. All right. Let me give that a little bit of a blur going on. It's a little too harsh right there. All right, let me bring the density back up again because I had it set for a different area. There we go. Okay. Yeah. No, it was a good call on the face. It's subtle and it's small, but it's still there. You can see it, which I really like. All right, sitting at 9:26. You know, I think we're good. Sits at right about a half hour, and I'm really happy with the way this came out. It got done. Let me fix one part. I'm such a noodler, man. I'm such a noodler. I just can't help myself. It got so pale that I did lose a light and shadow on it. There we go. One more. All right. Still had the color picker out. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I promise. I promise. Okay, so I'll be back next Thursday. We got a good, successful background done. I'm gonna get back to the character work next week, do a couple more weeks of characters, and then I'm gonna focus on again further design of the camp bus, the airboat, along with the driver, kind of focusing on them. I did a rough sketch of the camp airboat. Looks great, but I want to give a more rendition like this with color and maybe make it more in a 3/4 view and really give it a personality instead of a profile, because that just looks like a stamp of something. It doesn't look like anything real. So I'll be working on that in a couple weeks. But next week, back to the characters. I'm going to be doing further studies, possibly in costuming this time, taking the characters that I've already designed and giving them a different look. Probably the zombie himself, because one aspect to the zombie is that every time he eats a different ice cream, it gives him a different personality. It changes his personality dramatically. So we're going to have some fun with that. So come back next Thursday, this channel. Please, if you enjoyed the video, like the video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Share the video on social media. Let people know that it's here so I can get the word out and we can get something going out of this. I really appreciate you watching. It means a lot to me. This has been a rough year for everybody, and it's just nice to be able to share something like this and make you smile. So hopefully I did. And be sure and pay attention to Macabre Mondays, because hopefully I'll have another video up showcasing the next step on the current character that I'm working on, or possibly the next step on a different one. But it'll all be about my Macabre McMorbidly family that I'm designing new portraits for. So stay tuned to that. Be sure and check my website, tkylegentry.com, for all my past artwork. And please check out my website store as well. Click the store link on my website where you can get a lot of my prints, my books, canvases like that to hang on your wall, put on your coffee table. And all books come with a drawing in them. I do a sketch for it and I also sign it. So you guys have a great week. I will catch you next week. Thanks so much for watching Sleep. I really appreciate you coming out. For everybody that came out, thank you so much. God bless. Peace out. See you next week, guys.